Hey guys, it's been a minute since I did an update for the Blackhorse l-39 turbine, but life gets into the way, and you just don't get a lot of time to work on this. And to tell you the truth, I have not been motivated at all to do much in the hobby lately. But at any rate, trying to get through that. And I thought I'd just give a quick update. So I think last time I talked to you guys about doing a battery tray, sort of equipment tray, if you will. And part of the reason why was, let me just get this out of here. Part of the reason why I did that was if you look back here and you see how this kind of framing and webbing that they have here for the tank, all along here in the sort of equipment tray area, it's the same sort of webbing. So it makes it really difficult to be able to screw down your UAT and all your other equipment, your turbine, ECU, and so on. So I made this tray with these grommets and so on to get all of this mess of wires through. And I know that this looks like a complete rat's nest right now, but it's all going to be straightened out. I had to cut this tray in half here, as you can see, like right down there, because there is this brace that runs across. So trying to fit this entire tray in through here was going to be really difficult. So I had to cut that in half. Had all my wires run and pulled. And then the difficult part was these battery plugs here had to run underneath all of this kind of webbing material. So I had to use these strings to pull all of the wires, the power wires through to power this receiver, as well as my brake controller, which will be right here, as well as my ECU that's going to be over here, and of course the receiver. So at any rate, receiver that I decided to go with, just finally picked this up. Thank you very much, Joe Trinidad, from the FR Sky Canada site. This is the latest and greatest receiver from FR Sky. It's a TD-SR18. Comes with 18 channels, and each and every single one of these channels are supported for stabilization. So in total, there's going to be about 13 channels running this plane, and that should be great. Also thinking of running a secondary satellite that's going to be run back here someplace. This receiver is both 2.4 megahertz as well as 900 megahertz. That's why you see there's three different antennas. This one is the 900 megahertz, and then this one's 2.4. The receiver distance is good for, believe it or not, close to 5 kilometers. Needless to say, I'm not flying it that far. Okay, so there's that. And again, apologize for the entire mess in here, but hey, it'll be cleaned up in the end and should look really good. Up front here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but we've got our airspeed sensor with our low pressure and high pressure tubes going into the airspeed sensor, and we've got our pitot tube completely installed, so that's nice. Way back over here, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that here, and that's going to be mounted on this wall, is the temperature sensor. There's a temperature sensor that runs all the way back. So this here runs all the way back up to here, so that I know what the temperature in this area of the turbine is at all times, just to make sure that we're not overheating this pipe here. Okay, so there's that. And next we have our smoke system. So yeah, this is an HSD smoke system that my buddy Scott had a spare one kicking around, so he's kind enough to pass that on to me. So thank you very much, Mr. Scott Johnson. And so we already got that mounted up, so that should work out fine. Just have to do our vents and so on, and supply for the plane. One other thing I wanted to point out that I found in this kit that actually is a flaw. Actually, two things. So these two, there are 4 bolts here. So one here, and you can see the other 2 over here. So this plane comes in 2 halves, back section, front section, and then you just bolt these here. Where they've positioned these is got to be the most stupidest thing I've ever seen. It is so difficult to try and get in there and get this lined up. It's just ridiculous. So just a heads up when you're doing this, you might even need to even shave these down so it's more square rather than round, because it can barely get past this little bulkhead that they have here. Blackhorse, just letting you know, dumb idea. Anyways, but we got it figured out. Okay, for the next flaw that I found, let me just talk about this first. So for the nose gear, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I actually had to notch the back part here. Because what will happen is when you install the nose gear that it comes with, it won't retract properly. Because what will happen is once you bolt this down, this entire setup here will be at an angle like this. So what it causes to happen is this jack screw here strains, right? And it will jam this up. So what you have to do is just grind down a little, this sort of piece right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this little sort of header here, you just have to grind that down a little bit so that this shaft sits much more flushly. So as opposed to sitting like this, it sits like this. Okay? All right, I'm just going to put down my phone because I got to flip the plane and show you this other part. Okay, guys. Just give me 1 second here. And I'll just, which way am I going to grab? I'll grab this one. All right. It's a little hard to do this one-handed, so I'll just have to put this down for a sec. Okay, so I wanted to show you guys this. The wheel well that the Blackhorse design is misaligned. So if you noticed, I had to use just a sanding wheel from on my Dremel and just grind this part down. So I'll just show you from the opposite side of the plane. It's easier for you to see it. So that's it. So you have to grind this part down because they did not align the motor cylinder for the jack screw properly so that the wing will slide in without binding. Okay, so you're gonna have to just grind that down a bit and then it'll work fine. Now this is a design flaw for sure because I've checked with 2 other guys that built this, one in the Netherlands, another guy in South Africa, I believe, and they both had the exact same problem. So that is about it for now. That's how far we've gotten. We're going to be mounting all our Shriwin ECU, the controller for the brakes, and if I can find my UAT, I don't even know where that is. This is the mess that is my workbench. So it's amazing sometimes I can find any goddamn thing. But anyways, my ECU my UAT somewhere around here. So we got to mount all that stuff as well. So that is the update that we have for now. And finally, my lighting kit's on its way from Unilight in Germany. And yeah, hopefully I get that next week, and we'll be installing all of the lights on the plane. So we're trying to target hopefully first week of October to do a maiden, but we'll see how that works out. Anyways, guys, hope you have a great day and had a fantastic weekend. Houston out.